Yo, what up?
Yo, BTV Sports is in the building. What it is, everybody, is Jason Enrique along with
Mr. Yahtzee himself. You go, boy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All that good stuff. You go, boy. All that good
Oh,
stuff, bro. What's
yeah.
popping? What's popping?
Oh, man. A lot is popping, man. A lot is popping because it is now the end of week 2 of the NFL. And we all know
Yes.
that football is king.
Football's
Week 3 is
king,
coming
man.
up. And yeah, we just had I don't even know if you can call it a great game against the Jets and the Cowboys because that was like an absolute thrashing. The Jets the Jets jetted again, and the Cowboys did what they did, and they've been proving everybody that they're one of the premier defenses in the league, if not the best defense in the league, even though that might change now after a little bit of news a couple of days ago, but we'll get into that a little bit.
We'll get into that.
Yep,
Nice teaser.
Yeah. That's what we do here, first class. So anyway, but before we continue, we want to remind everybody that we're recording in lovely Garfield, New Jersey at Bravery Studios.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to Mar Behind the Glass. Thank you so much for everything you do, brother. We really appreciate it.
Bravery up.
And don't forget to follow the First Class, Second Place podcast page and the You Go Boy podcast, streaming everywhere, wherever you get your podcast.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Yes,
let's
sir.
get into it. So we had the crazy game of the Jets at the Cowboys in Dallas, aka Jerry's World.
Yep.
I know that you're ecstatic. I am not. I was reminded why I'm a Jet fan, and you were reminded why the haters are gonna hate
Yeah.
and haters
yeah.
gonna ain't.
Yeah. They hate us because they ain't us, man.
Yeah.
Malibu's most wanted.
Was that Malibu's Most Wanted? Or was that
no,
the interview?
that was the interview. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Oh no, Malibu's most wanted was don't be hating.
Don't be.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, I know that you've had, even though you had a great win, you guys are 2-0. You guys are looking like a legit Super Bowl contender right now. We just alluded to it. The haters are gonna hate. The haters are gonna hate. Don't be hating. So I know that you've got a lot to unleash right now, and we've been waiting for this moment. And yeah, I'm gonna let you take the reins right now, brother.
Yeah, for starters, heart goes out to Trayvon Diggs.
Yes.
All-pro corner. He was on his way to having another, it would have been his 3rd Pro Bowl season, his 2nd All-Pro in a row. Absolutely. He was locked in, man. One of the best corners, top 5 corner in football.
I agree.
Hands down. He unfortunately tore his ACL in practice doing just a routine one-on-one drill. Patrick Nosey Walker, huge fan of him for DallasCowboys.com. He reported it. A number of people in-house reported what happened. Nothing crazy. It wasn't like a freak play or a freak injury or whatnot. Was it
Was it a non? Do you know if it was a non-contact injury?
I believe he was just doing a drill, so it might have been some contact, might have not been some contact, but it was just a routine one-on-one drill. It wasn't even during a live action play. But yeah, that's a big blow to the defense. Typically, I would be very concerned and obviously it ruined my day, it ruined my week, obviously. 100%.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin the season.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin the season. I think this roster and this coaching staff is positioned to absorb the blow better than in years past. If this would have happened under a Jason Garrett organization, watch,
or Kellen Moore,
give you a prime example. I'm full of them. Every single time Sean Lee went down when Jason Garrett was at the helm, our defense just stopped working. Like it stopped like completely. Like I understand he's the middle linebacker. I understand he's got the green dot. I understand he helps set up and run the whole operation, but if your defense stops working when one player goes out, you only got a good defense. And you only got a good coaching staff on top of that, because it's the coach's job to put the players in a position to succeed. And under Rob Marinelli or Rob Ryan or Monty Kiffin, the list goes, bro, the list goes on.
Monty Kiffin, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a historically bad defense as well.
Yes.
Mike Nolan as well. Don't forget that name, 2020.
This is not the Cowboys, but it was, I don't know why, but Perry Fuel, when he was the DC for the Giants.
I remember that guy.
That was a historically bad defense.
That was bad.
Oh my God.
That was bad. He deserved to get fired when he did lose his job, but
I'm surprised they didn't fire him earlier on.
Yeah. Listen, like coaches have their loyalty. They got their guys, unfortunately. But
I guess
so this roster behind Diggs, you've got Deron Bland, who actually had more interceptions than Diggs last year. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that who follow the team. Since Diggs has come into the league, he's led the league in picks. Since Deron Bland has come into the league, he's led the league in picks as well. Again, a nugget that a lot of people who don't follow the team, they haven't picked up on. Jordan Lewis is there. We just signed Igbenogany from the Dolphins. I expect at some point, if things go completely off the rails or things are iffy or dicey, they'll make a move to grab another guy as well. The front office and the roster and again the coaching, Dan Quinn for president. I'm gonna say it every single time. Dan Quinn is obviously one of the top 3 defensive coordinators in football, hands
I
down right
believe it, yeah.
now.
Even though I have my little gripes with him because he had to take this his foot off the gas against the Patriots in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I have a little bit of gripes with Dan Quinn, but you know what? It's almost like Nathaniel Hackett. He was a horrible, dreadful head
Oh
coach.
my God,
but
yeah.
you trust his ability as an offensive mind, and Dan Quinn is definitely top 5 or maybe top 3 as far as like defensive minds in the league right now.
Exactly. You had, again, when the roster building, team building,
Yes,
as we
yes.
mentioned in a previous episode, when the team building and when the coaching is top tier, you can absorb an injury of this magnitude. I'm not too, I'm concerned, but I'm not, woe is me. Like, you break the glass in case of emergency. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, at least, yeah. It's not like how devastated I was when Aaron Rodgers tore his fucking Achilles.
Right,
Oh,
4 plays in.
4 plays in. Oh my God. Shout out to Joe Benigno. Oh, the pain.
Oh my God.
Bro.
but
What a disgrace.
what a disgrace.
Oh,
What
what a
is this?
disaster.
Don't worry, the Don Lemon drop is coming. The Don Lemon drop. I got to chop it up in cap cut, but it'll be added to the show. Don't worry. Savage.
That's actually one of my favorite drops of yours.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. I gotta make that drop too.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
anyway,
We're getting off the rails here. But no. So from an aspect, from a team building, from a coaching aspect, I think we'll be fine without Diggs. My issue, and it's been a hot button topic throughout Twitter and throughout sports fans and sports media right now, is Bart Scott's clownish comments. And it's not the first time he's been a clown with his comments. You know, shout out to Jesse Holley, former Dallas Cowboy, now a Cowboy, member of Cowboy Media or whatnot. He got on his podcast and he got on various podcasts and let it be known that, yo, Bart Scott was very lame and very clownish for those comments. He just was. And on top of that, Bart Scott's a former player. So aside from allegiance or who you're a fan of or whatnot, it's a brotherhood. It's a fraternity. You don't clown guys or even make a semblance of a joke when a guy goes down. Especially after, I was thinking about this on my drive home yesterday after recording, when the amount of just pain and mental anguish, aside from physical anguish because he's about to go into surgery, it's very comparable if a guy gets the contract, gets his money, or doesn't get his money. So in Diggs' case, think about this. Diggs just gets his contract. He's now one of the highest paid corners in football right now, and rightfully he's earned it from his play on the field. Put yourself in his shoes. He just gets his bag. Generational money, generational wealth now for his family right now.
Which is a word that you hate, by the way.
I hate that word. I hate that word, but since with money, it's all about context.
Okay,
it's all about,
fair.
With players, yes, I hate the G word. But in terms of wealth, because we're both chasing it ourselves with our respective businesses, including this one here, we want that generational wealth. We want money on top of money to be able to take care of our kids and so forth.
I'll give you that.
So he gets that now in the offseason, rightfully, and put yourself in his shoes. He's on a cloud 9 right now. Yo, so the organization believes in me. I'm one of the leaders. I'm one of the captains. They paid me like I know that I'm worth. My agent negotiates this great contract for me. I'm good now. Let me go on this field and let me prove and that, yo, to myself, my teammates, and my circle that, yo, I'm that guy. And he was doing that this year. He was doing that this year. Hands down. Just had an interception in the game as well.
This was only week 2, and already you see that it was a sign of things to come.
Yes. I believe he forced 2 turnovers in the opener against the Giants.
Yes, he did.
Intercepted and got another turnover, another PBU while he was covering Garrett Wilson. Showed unequivocally, yo, he's that guy. He's really that guy. He's now up there with the Jalen Ramseys and Xavier Howards and then the Stephon Gilmores and the Jair Alexanders and the top tier corners.
Sauce Gardner.
And of course Sauce. Big Sauce energy.
Yeah.
Of
Juice
course
versus Sauce now streaming it everywhere.
All digital platforms. So like I said, our listeners, put yourself in his shoes. He's on cloud 9 and then he gets hurt now, and now his season's over. His season's over. And honestly, there's a good chance he'll start on PUP next year. There's a strong possibility he'll miss a little early time at the beginning as he gets himself back into his playing shape and his playing form. So
yeah, it's so crazy how the ACL is such a predictable but also a tricky injury. It's not predictable. I apologize. I mean common. It's a very common injury. It's very common, but it's also very tricky. Like you never know the timetable because it all depends on who it is and how the body and so on and so forth.
Exactly. So
you're absolutely right. He might start on the PUP list. He might, because look, Breece Hall tore his ACL after week 4, and he's already back in the active roster. You never know. It all depends on it.
It all depends on
That's what's so tricky about it. Who knows? Like Trayvon Diggs, he might come back in training camp, or maybe he might have to start on the season to publish. It's a very tricky situation.
Yeah. So my thing is for Bart Scott to say his comments, and again, he's got an illustrious history of being a clown, of just saying clownish comments. We mentioned it in the pre-pod. This is the same guy that said he would take Teddy Bridgewater over Dak Prescott. You could have the same exact stats and the same exact success with those two quarterbacks. Clownish. Teddy Bridgewater, like you mentioned, is on his 7th team, his 7th NFL team, and is a career backup. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott is about to have his 100th start. He's been to multiple Pro Bowls. He is cementing himself as a top 10, borderline top 5 quarterback just on stats alone. I understand the haters, they're going to come at me with arrows left and right about the playoff success, and I get that. But who's out here winning multiple Super Bowls? I'm going to ask that question. This, again, I always say it. It's not Madden. You don't win a Super Bowl every single year when you build a good roster. Patrick Mahomes has multiple Super Bowls, and if we're going to go off the same metric and judge him by that, Josh Allen doesn't have a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson doesn't have a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Justin Herbert doesn't have a Super Bowl. The list just goes on. Jalen Hurts, he's been to a Super Bowl. D doesn't have one.
Joe Burrow
doesn't have one. Trevor Lawrence doesn't have one.
Nope.
Tua doesn't have one. I can keep going on and on. So again, you don't make fun of a guy who just got hurt for the season. It's clownish.
Right.
It's just clownish, man.
And also, I don't want to say shout out. I'm not even a Giant fan or a Cowboy fan, but I gotta call out Amani Toomer because he was on the Michael K show. He does a weekly show segment with them, like a guest spot. And one of the first questions they asked him was his thoughts about the Trayvon Diggs injury. And he was like, it's a terrible injury, but it couldn't have happened to a better team. So
here we go. Here we go again. Just more clowns. What's wild is too, I was thinking about this, and I put this in my tweet replying to the foolishness. It's, yo, bro, you basically saying his rebuttal, because Michael Parsons got after him. A lot of people on the team got after him. Bro, you waiting for that. Even Stephon Diggs, his brother, bro, like, what did you accomplish by that? Like, except looking like a clown. You're basically, his logic and his rebuttal is, I'm basically mentioning that Dallas has bad luck with injuries. And I'm just like, no. In that same vein, if that's the case, you're basically saying Trayvon Diggs got injured because it happened because he plays for the Cowboys, which is nonsense. Every team goes through season-ending injuries, and it's going to happen this week. Mark my words. Somebody is going to have a season-ending injury or miss significant time with an injury this week. It happens to every single team.
It's part of the game.
It's outside of mixed martial arts and probably rugby. Those are the only two contact sports or combat sports I can think of, and boxing that, you guaranteed 100% injury rate. You're going to have surgery at some point in your career. You're going to be injured at some point in you're going to be hurt at some point in your career. So Diggs did not get hurt or get injured because he plays for the Dallas Cowboys. That's not the logic. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's the reality of the sport and the reality of the nature of the sport, why he got hurt. There is not this magical, I gotta debunk this, bro. There's not this magical curse over the Cowboys, which leads to injuries and leads to this, that, and third. Same with you guys. Same with the Jets. We joke about it and say it in Jets from time to time, but in that sense, you notice unequivocally, Aaron Rodgers did not rupture his Achilles because he put a Jet uniform on. That's not how it works. It's because it's football. And he was a football player playing football on a football field.
Exactly.
That's why he got hurt. And the same thing with Trayvon Diggs. So his logic is flawed. His take was clownish. I don't care how he wants to frame it or backtrack on it. He is a clown for that. Like red nose, green hair, makeup, the whole nine. He was a clown for that. Big time. Big clown energy.
And you know what? I have to play a little bit devil's advocate also, because what I mean by that is, before they became broadcasters, a lot of these former athletes that are now on ESPN and Fox Sports and all that stuff, they always had a mouth on them.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it was these corporations that hired them just because of their mouth. And then afterwards, they figure, oh, we signed you for this reason, so go ahead and did what you did on the field.
Do what you did.
So,
personality.
If it wasn't for the can't wait moment, do you think that he would have a contract with ESPN?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
That was just a heat of the moment kind of thing, and rightfully, because that was a tremendous game, probably one of the best games I've ever seen.
True.
Yeah, but and then also Richard Sherman with his post-game presses and everything like that. That's the only reason why he is doing something else other than football after retirement. But that's the thing. I don't know if you agree with me. Maybe you do, but I think that at the end of the day, they're just a cause of things, because it's these big corporations, and I don't mean get on my soapbox and get political here, but it's these corporations that sign these guys for a specific reason, and I don't know whether they believe it or not, but I also feel that they have the power. Like, yeah, you're signed to the contract, but you have the power to actually not fall for the puppet strings.
Yeah, no, I've been told you're on your soapbox, but you're speaking facts. I've heard this out of the horse's mouth. I remember I interviewed with Spectrum News, and obviously didn't sign with them for financial reasons. Bag one, but I remember asking specifically about on-camera studio anchor jobs and whatnot, and it was explained to me in a very political, very direct manner that those are for former athletes. You know what I mean? Those are for former players and this, that, and the third. Like, those are guys that typically get it. So if we were to bring you on, yeah, it'd be difficult for you to cross over and get one of those jobs. So they told me this in the interview. And it made saying no easier, but I'm hearing this on that level. And no knock to Shannon Sharp, who absolutely deserves everything he's getting. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
There are a lot that you could tell that they were born for this. They're great for it.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. And in the same vein, just like there are good doctors and trash doctors, good lawyers, trash lawyers, good policemen, trash policemen.
Yep.
There's sides to every corner. There's a lot of athletes.
Good podcasters, trash podcasters.
Exactly. Facts. 100 emoji. You know what I mean? There's a lot of former athletes that have no business on camera or in front of a microphone because, again, they're just giving hot takes or uninformed takes or just spewing foolishness. So, So in that sense, congratulations, Bart Scott. You played yourself. Yeah. As always.
Yeah. This is a little, I don't know if I should say this, but like my brother, he agrees with you on the whole Shannon Sharp thing, but he thinks that Michael Irvin's a clown, personally. I know that's your boy and everything, but.
Nah, man, nah. There'll be no Mike Irv slander on this podcast while I'm here. Mike, keep doing what you doing. Big Mike, man. Love me some Mike Irvin, dog. You kidding me?
Now, what if he was a former Giant or a former Eagle? What would you say then?
Oh, yeah, he can get off. Kid rocks.
There's a little bias right there, bro. Admittedly,
Admittedly. Nah, he wore the star, and he helped put 3 banners up. And the Raptors, man, Mike is good in my book for life, man.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough, But going back to the Jets and the Cowboys game, you said your piece. I know you're happy with the win and everything, and you had to get on social media, talk your ish, and so on and so forth. Rightfully, because you listen, I get the hate. I know where it comes from. I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I understand I know what it's like to have a team that is winning and is doing great things, and then the haters just come out all directions.
Yeah, but we owed you too for 2019. I was at that game with Adam Gase as the head coach, Jason Clown Garrett was our coach as well. Sam Darnold diced us up with Robbie Anderson. I sat through that, bro.
Were you at that game?
I was at that game.
Oh, my God.
I was at that game, sitting in a whole section of Jet fans, and they was going crazy and enjoying it, but they were really surprised turning to me. They wasn't even like clouding me. They were just like, bro, we suck. Why are y'all losing us? I mean, so we own y'all.
That's what happens when you have Adam Gase as your head coach with him. I still can't believe it. Like I know this is the third year of Robert Saleh, but even just mentioning the words of Adam Gase come out of my mouth, it just makes me want to puke.
And that's how I feel about Jason Garrett. We're in lockstep with that. Both of whom were fired. Not too long after, rightfully, and both of whom will never. Mark my words, we'll never get NFL head coaching jobs ever again. Like I said, unequivocally.
I don't know if you know this, but after Adam Gase got fired, did you know that he became an offensive coordinator for a high school team in Michigan?
He should have took Jason Garrett with him. I mean, Garrett should be a high school JV, not even varsity, JV. He's that level of trash. But listen, that's not surprising.
But listen what I said, though. He went from an NFL head coach to an offensive coordinator in a high school in Michigan.
That says a lot.
That is the biggest downfall. I can't even think of anything else. What's next? Water boy for Detroit or some shit? I don't know. But anyway, getting back, we're getting a little off sidetracked here, but going back to the game now, I got to say my piece about the Jets.
Go for it.
So, listen, I'm not even going to rib Zach because I feel like I didn't have a lot of confidence in him going forward. Like as soon as Aaron Rodgers went down with that torn Achilles, not only was I devastated that we didn't have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in our roster, and he would have done. I think he would have done some tremendous things for this team. I don't know if they would have been a Super Bowl team, but they definitely would have made some tremendous strides this year. And then afterwards, when he tears his Achilles, not only did I feel like, damn, that's such a big blow to us, but it's all about the next man up. And who's the next man up? Zach Wilson. Oh my God. I already know what Zach Wilson is. I was done with him last year after the press conference after that Patriot loss, which was a low-scoring game, but a devastating game nonetheless. And then afterwards, that thrashing that Jacksonville gave the Jets on Christmas time.
Yeah, in prime time.
Yeah, and shout out to my boy Carlos, because I can't believe that he actually bought a Zach Wilson jersey, man. So that was I told him that he better find the Jets organization and replace it with Garrett Wilson instead of Zach Wilson. Just replace the 2 with the 17, and you're good. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway. But like I said, I'm not going to get on Zach Wilson. I have to get on 2 things that really irked me in this game. It was the defense, because we manhandled the Buffalo Bills in prior. We got 4 interceptions off of Josh Allen, proving that Josh Allen is not as great as people think he or say he is. Jordan Whitehead had a tremendous game. I don't know if you know this, but in his contract, it said that if he got 3 or more interceptions throughout the season, he would have got a $250,000 bonus.
Yeah,
he did it in one game.
Yeah.
He did it in one game.
Got a bag off a game. About that.
And props to him for that, man. He's well deserved. Yeah, but what about the defense? This was a solid defense, and we all knew that this is going to be like an elite. And then DJ Reed's calling us the 85 Bears in 2023. Like you can't do that. And also, Sauce, you want to be Revis Island? Actually cast the ball, and you would have easily got a pick 6. That was the frustrating thing, because if he caught that ball, it would have been a pick 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was wide open. It was right there for him. But you know what? As much as I want to rip Sauce for that, because you got to catch his damn ball, no excuses. You're in the NFL. I can't feel sorry for you. You're making a hell of a lot more money than me, so I can't feel sorry for you if you can't catch his damn ball. But I also have to go on the coaching, because one of the things that people loved about Revis and what Rex Ryan was able to do with Revis Island is that it was Revis Island for a reason. You put him against the best wide receiver on the opposite team.
He didn't travel.
They don't do travel. And their excuse is, that's not the style of defense that we do. We do more man coverage. I'm sorry. You put CeeDee Lamb against DJ Reed, and I love DJ Reed, but he's not exactly Deion Sanders, okay? He's not exactly Darrelle Revis. He's not exactly Stephon Gilmore. I don't know. Sauce is one of the best corners in the league, definitely top 5 in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You got to put him up against CeeDee Lamb, but look how CeeDee Lamb just torched that defense.
11 for 143.
Yeah,
Can I interest you in that?
Yeah. But and also on the offensive side, Breece Hall had an amazing game last week.
4 touches.
Yeah, 4 touches. Four touches this game. And then Dalvin Cook was barely utilized. I think they fell so behind that they were actually trying to get away from it was a mixture of, they were trying to stay conservative and not throw so much at Zach at so many times, at so many things, especially with Micah Parsons just being a beast. I mean, that guy is unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
And he's and the way I don't know if you saw a video that he was able to fool Connor McGovern, the center.
Yep.
Oh my God.
He's doing crossovers. He took that from Myles Garrett. That's Myles Garrett does that. The crossover. Yeah.
But you know what, Joe Tippmann, if you can, go ahead. I want you, get out of here, Connor McGovern. You're done. You're done. You're not gonna do anything against Matt Judon if you put Connor McGovern in there next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was just a little bit of stubbornness from the coaching there. I think that Saleh, I did like the fact that he got hot when there was a brutal roughing the passer call, this is something that we discussed last week.
We did.
I said that the officiating was going to hurt us in some way, shape, or form. And once again, it was John Franklin Myers, who I love, but he just never gets the benefit of the doubt from the refs.
Yeah.
And they even said earlier this week that the NFL said that play shouldn't have been called. Obviously, you're a Cowboy fan. You saw that play. Would you even think that was roughing the passer call? Did you think that was a little bit too far-fetched?
What I would say is that call, roughing the passer call, it's contingent on who the quarterback is. It's not just the quarterback. It's who the quarterback is.
Thank you for saying that.
That's the difference with it. So there is a set group of quarterbacks that are always going to get that call, regardless. Yeah. And there's a set group of quarterbacks that are not going to get a call. Zach Wilson he's never going to get that call.
He's never going to get that call. That's why he didn't get that call in the Buffalo game where he almost got his head ripped off.
Yes. But again, honestly, top 10 to top 15 quarterbacks get that call. They just do. That's by the letter of the law, because again, it's a passing league. It's an offensive league. They want their best quarterbacks healthy. They want their best quarterbacks available.
Vegas is too influenced.
Exactly. And Vegas plays in well with the money line and so forth, and DraftKings and so forth. So it's the league is going to go out of their way, whether they want to admit it or not, because it annoys the hell out of me when we play the top tier quarterbacks. And I'm just like, come on, dog, really? And it's wild, because for whatever reason, Purdy is getting those calls now. And I'm just like, yeah, and I get it. He's winning a ton of games and he's playing right now. You know what I mean? We'll get to them. We'll get to them
Well,
eventually.
I think the 49ers are probably the best team in all the league right now.
They're legit.
Yes,
they're legit. They're one of the top 3 teams, bar none, or whatever.
Yes.
But again, the league makes up their minds. They tell the officials, listen, this is the list of quarterbacks. You protect them against all costs and whatnot. So to answer your point, I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying, I'm giving you the reasoning behind it. I'm not giving you an excuse or.
Oh no, I know the
whatever.
reason behind it.
But I did say, but that's the case.
Right, but I did say that it was going to play a factor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know if I manifested it, unfortunately, but it was just something that I knew that was going to.
You've watched enough ball to realize.
I mean,
what's going to be to project.
I mean,
that's what it was.
And I even saw it last year, ironically, against the Patriots, because they got a sack on Mac Jones. He fumbles the ball as he usually does, and it was picked up by Michael Carter. Could have easily been a pick 6, but they called it back because run for the passer on John Franklin Myers of all people again. So we alluded to Joe Beningo earlier today. Like, he would even say, he said this on his podcast plenty of times. I'm sure he would say it if you were right here, like, it's because we're the Jets. We're never going to get that call when they see that green and white. It's just not going to happen because we just don't have the respect of the league.
He's a perpetual line stepper.
Yeah. Habitually.
Habitual line stepper.
Yeah. Shout out to Charlie Murphy. Yeah, but listen, I love Saleh, but I think that he has to be aware that he's 12-24 as a head coach right now. He's in his 3rd season. You had Aaron Rodgers. Okay, you don't have him anymore for the season, but that doesn't mean that you're not on the hot seat. Now, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat. There are some things that are good about him, but it's your 3rd year in the league as a head coach. You have to start winning games. You've only won 12 games in the last 3 seasons. That's not good. That's not good. And I know you've been trying to do the best you can, and you have a stout defense, and you're a great defensive mind and everything, but I don't know. I want to see a little bit more fire and brimstone from him. I don't like this nice guy attitude that he plays all the time, and I feel like it's affecting his judgment, and they're trying to create this culture, and he talks about this accuracy and this violence and everything, but you can't coddle these players either. I don't know if maybe I'm talking out of my butt here. I don't know, but that's the sense that I'm getting out of Robert Saleh, and that's why I think that this game against the Patriots tomorrow is crucial, because you have to make this personal. Bill Belichick threw 50+ points against you in one game in your rookie season as a head coach. If this is not personal, then I don't know what is. You have to realize that Bill Belichick hates the Jets. He despises the Jets for reasons that we'll never know. But the fact that you're still a 3rd-year head coach, and you want to keep your job, I would think. You want to keep your job. Bill Belichick hates the Jets with all of his heart. You're going to be the reason that you get fired if you don't start winning.
Yeah, because it's still a wins and loss, like.
Yeah, there's only 32 positions like this in the entire world.
Yeah,
they don't just give these jobs to apes.
You can't apply to
unless your name is Jason Garrett or Adam Gase.
Oh my God, don't get me started. You can't apply to be an NFL head coach like on Indeed or ZipRecruiter or LinkedIn. Like, oh, head coaching's not available. I just throw my resume in there. That's not how this works. You get elected to do it. Shout out to Michael Lombardi. Those were his words. But you have to win ball games, and I keep saying it, like. I believe I'll be right, because I'm typically right in these situations, not to toot my own horn, but I think that it's a 4-week audition for Zach Wilson. You guys can't go 0-4 or 1-3 in that sense or whatnot. I understand the position you guys are in. This roster and this team was built for Aaron.
Yes, it was.
The
offensive coordinator came here because of Aaron.
The offensive Alan Lazard came here for Aaron. Randall Cobb came here for Aaron. Dalvin Cook came here for Aaron.
Yes, you know that's a big reason. Otherwise, if he knew that Zach Wilson was going to be his quarterback, he probably would have went to Miami.
Absolutely. So it's like, you guys, there were talks about David Bakhtiari coming over via trade, which I think you guys should have done, honestly.
Oh, we should have.
Like, that was going to be for Aaron. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's like basically you guys created and prepared this 5-star meal for Aaron Rodgers, and then he got food poisoning the day, like on his way there. And then who else was in the car? Zach Wilson was in the car. Then Aaron he's got the trots. He's in the bathroom, like working it out. And Zach Wilson comes to sit down. He's, oh wow, I didn't order steak. What do I do with this? Like, I'm vegan.
Yeah,
that's basically what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, coming from Utah, that would have surprised me.
So you guys this 4-week stretch is critical, because I feel like if you guys don't at least show some promise. Maybe not even win every game. At least show some promise. Get one of these games. Maybe even 2 of these games. I think it's going to force Saleh's hand, and he's got to make a move at quarterback. He's got to. Because I'm not saying you guys have to win the Super Bowl this year. I feel like that's not going to happen anyway. I feel like that's unrealistic without Aaron Rodgers. I really do. So what I'm saying is, if you guys don't at least compete for a wild card, or it seems like the offense is so stagnant, and it's going to spill over to the defense because the defense is going to get gassed because they're out there because the offense can't sustain drives.
I think that's a big reason why we lost the game against Dallas, because I felt like it was just a constant 3 and out, and then before the defense got a chance to get a slug of water, they're right back on the field.
Yeah, the time of possession was something crazy, like 40 something, like 17, like it was 35-17. Like it was so slanted one way. And again, McCarthy called a great job and knew that. He's, you know what, we're not going to take too many chances. Great defense. We're going to run the ball a lot. You know what I mean?
There was some questionable play calling by McCarthy, which is his forte.
I would say in the red zone, particularly in the red zone.
That's exactly what I was getting at.
The red zone was not good. I'm gonna give it grace because the defense was so elite. And on top of that, McCarthy was like,
defense was your deodorant.
Exactly. Because Kellen Moore would have, like, Dak would have probably had a pick or two in the, like, if Kellen Moore was calling plays. Because again, Kellen Moore doesn't understand pace of play and so forth. And shout out to Marcus Spears, you know what I mean, former Cowboy and current analyst for ESPN. I'm saying he pointed it out, like, word for word. I'll put the clip in here when I clip up this audio. He said exactly what I said, that this guy doesn't understand situational football. He doesn't understand, okay, I got to run it. He runs when he's supposed to pass. He passes when he's supposed to run. You know what I mean? But in the sense of McCarthy in the red zone, yes, that's not going to fly against the top tier teams. That's not going to fly against San Francisco. You're going to need touchdowns. It's not going to fly against Philly. You're going to need touchdowns. It's not going to fly against the Chiefs if we make it that far, or one of the top tier teams in the AFC or the Ravens. You're going to get touchdowns because the other team's going to score touchdowns. They just are. It's just the nature of the game or whatever. But aside from the red zone play calling, I'd give the play calling like a B+ or whatnot, because Dak went 13 for 13 to start the game. He had over 80% completion percentage. He had 2 touchdowns. Like, he played an efficiently clean game outside of the sauce. Near interception. Sauce probably had sauce on his hands. Sauce or sweet and sour sauce, whatever.
That Buffalo Wild Wing sauce that he has out, which I gotta try, by the way.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think I had it last time I was there.
Ooh,
it was rocking. Or he probably had mambo sauce. He had some type of sauce. His hands, whatever. But when I was caliente, a little tangy too, some sweetness in there. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, it was an efficiently called game, and McCarthy understood the defense is rolling today. We don't really need to take too many chances because that's how turnovers happen, and that's how we give you guys momentum. And it was a good way for the game to get off the rails. We were in control. There was no problem. I had no problem with them kicking field goals, and once they got it to a 3-score lead, I was like, we're good, because your offense with Zach Wilson at the helm. Like, aside from the not Jabril Wilson.
Whoa.
He's a former Giant. I was thinking Jabril Wilson instead of Garrett Wilson. That's my guy. He's really, he's one of my favorite receivers. Aside from that play, which is a really good play, and took it to the house and whatnot.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like, your offense didn't really show anything that was going to threaten us with the way especially with the way our defense is playing right now. So it was an efficiently called game by McCarthy. And on top of that, keep that in mind. Our offense is going to be pretty much whole this week because we're going to get Brandon Cooks back. We're going to get Tyler Smith back. We're going to have the full complement. We're going to get Donovan Wilson, one of our top 10 players on our defense. He comes back. He didn't even play in that game as well. We'll be more whole this week against the Arizona, and I know it's against the expansion Cardinals. We'll project that game as well. But I'm interested to see how Mike continues to evolve and call plays, because Dak is playing very efficient ball right. He is. Yeah. He definitely is. And no turnovers, knock on wood. So, but yeah, the red zone needs to be better. We definitely have to clean that up because it's not going to fly against the better teams.
And also, one thing that people are not talking about also is that for the Jets offense against the Cowboys, you guys defensively played a tremendous game. But how about when Zach was actually using his legs? He actually got a couple of first downs, and he got more rushing yards than Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook last game.
That says so much.
That says a lot. And I know, but I don't know if that says so much about the offense or how much you guys were slacking on the defense on that particular drive. But
it was a 2-minute drive. He was very effective and very smart. He needs to do more of that, honestly.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting to.
He needs to do more of that.
They need to give more RPOs to Zach Wilson. They're trying to, like, right now, I understand that the offense, is tailor-made for Aaron Rodgers, and only Aaron Rodgers could do the things where he can get out of the pocket and make these tremendous throws that I've never seen any other human being able to do. But Zach Wilson is not that type of player. He actually is athletic. He could use his legs. He's shown it before. I remember in his rookie year when he torched the Jacksonville Jaguars with his legs and ran for a touchdown. You need to have more plans like that now. I think it's because They fear that he's going to do some kind of stupid move and probably get injured, and they're trying to protect him. Put kid gloves, wrap him up in bubble paper and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? Make those kind of design plays for him. I think if you actually design the plays for him and have the offensive line and everybody else and the blocking tight ends with a particular game plan that tailors around Zach, then maybe those RPOs could be actually pretty effective. I truly believe that.
You have to see. I'm going to keep saying that, and it'll play out during the regular season. We'll see. But you guys have to see unequivocally, without a shadow of a doubt, can this guy play? Can this guy play? Can he play on this level? Can he be competent on this level? Can he do the three things that I always say? I got to put this on a T-shirt or put this in a manual or whatever and sell it. Can your quarterback, can he read coverages? Can he throw people open? Can he run an NFL pro-style offense? Can he do all three? Because he can't do all three, you guys got to move on from him. You got to cut ties with him. And
I suggest I suspect we will.
I feel you guys will.
I believe that Aaron Rodgers next year is coming back, and we're going to draft a quarterback, and he's going to basically have a red year.
For you guys to go this hard to lobby and get Rodgers and basically reconstruct your whole offense around him with Aaron Rodgers in mind, that said everything I needed to see, to hear and see off of how you guys really feel. Like, because you like Saleh, I know he's got to say it for like political reasons. He's got to say it, and the teammates have to as well. But from an organizational standpoint,
yes,
for you guys to do what you do and say what you said and have the bells and whistles to go for somebody else, it's basically like you go hard to try to date this chick. Yo, you bring everything out the wazoo. Yo, you get her flowers. You do research and find her favorite color, where she loves to eat, her favorite vacation spot, and you set up and you go hard because you don't just want to date this chick, you want to marry this chick.
Yeah, shout out to Catherine.
And then she turns around and and something just happens. Like she goes back to her ex, or she just tells you, we're better off as friends. Like she hits you with one of those or whatever.
Again, shout out to Catherine.
Long Trump Savage. So you go hard for Catherine, and then she turns around, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out, and then you just, you know what? Let me see what Rebecca's doing. Let me hit her up. Whatever. Basically, what the that's.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that's not what it was. They're trying to see if things are going to work out with Rebecca, but they really know how they feel about Rebecca because they went so hard for Catherine. You get to look at it that way, bro. I don't know how to look at it. I suspect if he doesn't show that he is at least competent and you guys win some games, this will be it for Zach Wilson. It has to. Because it doesn't make sense for him to stay on the roster.
And if FanDuel or DraftKings or any of these had, I would bet my money on no, because it is year 3. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I've seen this movie too many times. I feel like this is Pulp Fiction. I feel like this is Pulp Fiction or any other Tarantino movie that you want to mention. I feel like I've seen this movie before, and that's why I fully expect Aaron Rodgers to come back next year. We already drafted a quarterback of our future, and he's going to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, and they're going to trade Zach Wilson to like the Arizona Cardinals or something. Send it back to the West Coast.
Yeah, but again, we mentioned on the previous episode, like I'm not really faulting dude. I'm really not. I'm not faulting Zach Wilson.
No, I'm not. He's just the result of things.
He's a product of circumstance. Yes. Yeah. He's a product of pre-draft guru hype of nonsense, because he makes one foot throws off platform on the dime and gets compared to Patrick Mahomes by freaking Dan Orlovsky.
I was just thinking that. If you get love bombed by Dan or Danny O, run.
Yes, run the other way. If you get love bombed by Danny O or Colin Cowherd,
oh my God,
insert Bayless, insert clown, insert freaking clown. In hot take land, run, because it's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out.
That should be a segment of the show. At the end of the show, we should have like a clown show of the week or something like that.
Yeah, clown of the week. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. At the end of this episode, we'll have the music. I'll put the music in post. We'll have a clown of the week, and just like a donkey of the day. Shout out to Charlemagne. We're gonna have a clown of the week. And I already know who it's gonna be this week. But anyway, but no, Zach Wilson is a product of pre-draft foolishness. So don't take it to heart, bro. Don't take it to heart. Your guy is coming.
I'm a Jet fan. We have to take everything to heart. We don't even have our own goddamn stadium, okay?
You guys aren't good with sharing. It's all good. It's all good. But let's
just like Joe Benigno would say, you can make MetLife Stadium as green as you want. It's still Giant Stadium.
And the new place It's not nowhere, but it's the old
Yeah,
place.
no, especially when it looks like an AC unit in the middle of East Rutherford.
It really does look like Central Air, like in the middle of Meadowlands. But
Oh
no,
man,
let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's transition to the Giants, to the
Yeah.
the G-men, Big Blue.
another G word I don't
Oh
like.
my God, I got a lot to say there. You want me to kick it off?
Yeah,
with the
I'll let
G-men?
you up. I need to build it up. Yeah.
Oh my God. So here we go again, like in the latest installment of Daniel Jones robbed the
DMX, here we go again.
Here we go again. Daniel gonna give it to you. Daniel Pennies does it
Get at me,
again.
dog.
And again, now for context, let's just keep it in context.
Yes.
The 49ers have a top 3 defense in this league. So there's not a lot of teams that are gonna light it up on it. They're gonna get lit up. They have gotten lit up. Let's not mince words here. Matt Stafford put it on him like the week before. They pulled it out because he threw a pick like he always does, and Matt Stafford it up. And they're still they're dreadfully missing Cooper Kupp. Like I feel their offense is definitely lacking without him. Even though they got the rookie, I think Puka, I think that's his name. He's been lighting it up as well in his absence, but they're missing Kupp. Kupp makes them a completely different offense. But the 49ers, basically, they came in with the same mindset that Dallas had in previous weeks. Like, we don't have to double team anybody. We don't got to double team anybody. There's nobody on this offense, and I'm including Darren Waller, because Waller is a top flight talent. And he's a really good tight end. He's a top 10 tight end. I'm going to say he's top 5. I can name 5 better than him. He's a top 10 tight end. But with the quarterback being who the quarterback is, and what did I say about who Daniel Pennies is when Saquon Barkley is not in the lineup? Night and day. So what's Barkley?
And no Andrew Thomas.
Exactly, Thomas. Let's just stick Barkley. Let's stick with the best player on your team. Forget the offense and defense and special team. You prefer
the guy whose legs look like tree trunks.
Exactly.
See his workout videos.
Saquad. That's his nickname online or whatever.
Yep.
So the second I knew Saquon's not playing, I'm like, that's a dub, because at least with Saquon, you have in your mind, yeah, okay, he can take a screen pass and just take it to the house. He's that good, regardless of who's blocking. Or he could take a pitch or a handoff or a toss. He can take it to the house. There's only a handful of guys that have that type of home run ability in this league right now as we speak, especially at the running back position. So he's not playing. You just knew, okay, the 49ers are just like, Daniel Jones, let's see what you got. And he showed what he got. Like, I think Paris Campbell was like his leading receiver. And for 4 catches, for something like 26 yards, that's your leading receiver? Like, there's no, and again, it comes back to roster building. Just because you draft Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee and he's fast, doesn't mean he's a top 10, top flight wide receiver. And
this is where Giant fans look with blue color glasses, because you got my boy Dez. Shout out to Dez. I love you, bro. But already claiming before the season starts that he's going to be the offensive rookie of the year. I don't think they're going to do that with Danny Pennies.
Bro, no, it's not going to happen. And yes, the Cardinals, you lit up an expansion team that is trying to get Caleb Williams as much as they say they're not trying to get Caleb Williams. That's who you lit up the week before. And it was funny.
A little bit is
they put up 31 points on them. So you got to give them their due, because
I give a lot of credit to Daboll, because he definitely had their team come back after it looked like they were going to do another 40 to 0 score.
It looked like a 40 burger. Yeah. They were now 28-7. But I'm saying you give credit where credit's due. They did a good job of doing what they're supposed to do. They played They
made the adjustments.
The adjustments, and their offense was humming. But again, that's a bad team you did it against.
Yeah.
And again, their stretch of games is going to continue to prove my point. Their roster, the way it's currently constructed, is not conducive to compete at the highest level.
Right.
They don't have anyone on their offense outside that's not named Saquon Barkley or Darren Waller that when you get off the bus, you're just like, shoot, we got to account for that guy.
Yeah.
We got to scheme against that guy. They have Darren Waller and a bunch of number 4 receivers. Number 4 receivers.
Yeah, I'm
not
sorry.
going to say number 2 receivers.
Right.
Number 4 receivers.
I'm sorry, but Victor Cruz or Mario Manningham is not coming through that door for the Giants.
No. Amani Toomer's not. Mark Bavaro's not.
Tiki Barber,
Jeremy Shockey. Those guys are not stepping through the door. You know what I mean? So their roster is not constructed to compete at the highest level. They got away with a soft schedule. We mentioned this in the previous episode.
Yes, we did.
They got away, but they got a playoff schedule this year, and the next 4 or 5 games are rough. I think they got Seattle, and they
do have
pull
Seattle,
up their
yep.
schedule real quick. They got
Yeah, I
Seattle.
got
They got a number of top-tier playoff teams from last year that are about to mosey on in, and they still have to play Philly twice, and they still got to play Dallas again on top of that. So, like, bro, like the
And
Giants.
don't count out the Commanders. They're scrappy.
And exactly, and thank you for mentioning that. The Commanders, Rob Rivera, I don't think is a good coach, but they did a good job of constructing.
He'll
their
be done.
roster as well.
He'll be before the season ends. I fully predict that Eric Bieniemy is going to be the coach.
He's the coach in a way, like hands down.
Yeah. So we got Seattle at home, at Miami,
Loss,
at Buffalo,
loss,
at home against Washington, and then you got the Jets.
Exactly. So there's a minimum of 3 to 4 more L's in there. I'm just gonna say it. Like I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. There's a minimum of 3 to 4 more L's on the way. They would be lucky to. They're going to compete for a wild card. I think Dable's going to. They're going to get a softer patch of their schedule, I believe, and they're going to be competitive in it. And Saquon's going to come back, but they don't have the firepower to match up with the top tier teams. That's their issue.
No.
That's their issue. And you saw that against San Francisco. And Daniel Jones. But here's the issue: Daniel Jones is locked in for another 3 years at $40 million. He signed a 4-year.
What was that tweet? What was that tweet that you had? Like they just wasted their. Like it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah, they're like them signing Daniel Pennies to a 4-year extension is going to set them back a couple years.
Yeah,
unless they get off that contract, they got to get off that deal. I would do it this year. I would do, but they're not. But again, they're not going to, because the owner Mara loves him and believes that he's a top 10 quarterback. So he's not going
Eli
anywhere.
Jace. It's Eli Jace.
Eli Jace for sure. So
it's almost like
that's the issue.
It's almost like if Rebecca had the same hair and face as Catherine. That's exactly. That's the analogy that we're going with today. And isn't it also crazy how there's so much similarities as far as physical appearance with Daniel Jones and Eli Manning?
Yeah, I think maybe John Mara's senile, and maybe he just thinks that freaking Daniel Jones is Eli Manning.
Right.
And nobody has told him, listen, Grandpa, like he's not him. He's a different person. He's Eli Light.
Eli Light.
He's great value, Eli. You know what I mean?
Sam's Club.
ShopRite brand, Eli.
Bowling basket, Eli.
Yeah, he's bowling basket. Bowling basket. That's a savage.
Yeah.
Dear God.
Yeah, let me get a Don Lemon for that one.
Let me get a Don Lemon. I went to school to Don Work though.
Oh man, but so yeah, as far as the Giants is concerned, they're not going anywhere this year. I didn't think they were going to be all that great team either. I thought that they're going to be well coached, and for the most part that they have, I got it. Like you alluded to, I do have to agree with you as far as the Arizona Cardinals game. It did come back, and it looked like they were about to be another repeat of the Dallas thrashing. But yeah, no, one of the things that I'm also looking at, I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about, unless you're a Giants fan, is that the defensive coordinator, he this can't keep up because they already like. The defense, where is the defense? Kayvon Thibodeau was in the news earlier this week, talking about like how the stats are not matching his performance and it's all about the eye test and everything.
Oh my God, bro, save it. Save it.
Yeah, listen, man, you got to show up for your coach. You got to show up for your coach. And I forget, Wink Martindale, I think that's his name.
Yeah, former defensive coordinator for the Ravens.
Yeah. And yeah, they did a tremendous job last season, but the way that this defense is playing, man, I know that they don't really have necessarily any star makers or star players with the exception of Thibodeau. But this is going to cost him his job. I feel like not only by the way they're losing games, but basically up on the scoreboard. The scoreboard, it's just like they're just throwing. It's almost like a basketball game against this Giants defense.
And it's wild too because I missed part of the first quarter, but I was able to catch.
I don't think you missed much.
I didn't. I guess I'll watch the highlights or lowlights, whatever you want to call it. I was a full game, but from like the second quarter on, I watched the game, and there were at least 3 or 4 occasions. Giants did their job on first and second down. They got against the
49ers.
Against the 49ers, yeah. They had them in 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 15. They run a simple swing pass, and then Debo goes for 20 or McCaffrey goes for 20. And I'm just like, listen, I know these guys they're great. They're all world. They're all pro players.
Sure.
Bro, but 3rd and 15 in the NFL, if you're giving it up on I can see if you're giving it up on a double move or a super well schemed like pass down the middle or just a great one-on-one up the boundary pass, I get it. Hats off, whatever. But
correct,
dog, I'm talking like a simple college day one install swing pass or screen. If you're giving up 3rd and 15 on that, no, you're not a good defensive coordinator. No. You're not because
it's going to cost you your job.
It is. It has to because again, your personnel from a defensive line standpoint, I'll give them their D line should be good enough. I will with Thibodeau and with Williams and with Ojulari and Dexter Lawrence, who they just gave his bag. Yeah, your D line should be good enough to win you games. Their issue is secondary wise. Like Adoree Jackson is not that guy.
No.
I don't know why they gave him a bag, but they did. DeAndre Baker, he's a rookie.
There's a lot of questionable contracts with the Giants.
And
just look no further than Daniel Jones.
Exactly. And draft picks as well.
And
you know what I mean? Because outside in their secondary, outside of Xavier McKinney, I think is a really good player.
Yeah, I do like him.
He's good. But outside of McKinney, Pinnock and Baker and
former Jet.
Exactly. I'm just like, yo, who's in there that you're just like, yo, better not throw that guy. Like they haven't had that guy since Jason Sehorn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
isn't it crazy that you haven't even heard about Leonard Williams' name ever since he went to the Giants, even though he's been productive for them, but I think he actually had a little bit more cachet when he was with the Jets.
He's because again, they're on all the time and they're in our division. So I do have to pay attention on when they're playing common opponents and so forth, and teams that
Fair enough.
But he's been serviceable. He was way more impactful when he was with you guys.
Yeah, he was more worthy of that pick, that 6th overall pick, I believe.
Yes, yeah. But Dexter Lawrence on their line is their best player on their line, hands down or whatever. But again, their defense, especially from the secondary standpoint, that's where they're gonna get. That's where they're gonna get diced up because
their safeties and their cornerbacks are trash.
Outside of McKinney, they're just not good. And they're young too. On top of that, I understand why Martindale they blitz so much and they got so much. They go zero blitz all the time because they're just like, yo, we gotta get to you as soon as we can.
Yep.
Because on the back end, it's gonna be a field day. And as the game wore on, Brock Purdy eventually started to light them up with a couple shots over the middle and shots deep to Debo. Debo had
Debo had a monster game.
I had him in fantasy, thank God. Yeah. He had almost 200 yards of all-purpose yards. You know what I mean? Debo was a problem. Debo's going to be a problem for a lot of guys or whatever. And mind you, Ayuk didn't even play. So
that's true. Exactly, yeah, he didn't play.
Had Ayuk played to go with Debo and McCaffrey, I think the score would have been more lopsided. You know what I mean? But they weren't able to take advantage of that because it all comes full circle. Offensively, they weren't doing anything. It was a one-score game going into the fourth quarter. All right, that's as much as you could ask for your defense and whatnot. Your offense couldn't sustain drives, and there's nobody offensively that's going to strike fear in the hearts of criminals, you know what I mean, on that side. So it's just, it's going to be a long season for the Giants.
Right.
You could say that unequivocally.
Did you see on TMZ also at the end of the game where there was a bunch of Giants and 49er fans that got into a wild fist fight on Thursday night?
That's not surprising. There's a lot of 49er fans that are basura, dog.
Yeah, I mean,
and Giant fans too. We discussed them in detail in previous episodes. That's not shocking.
I did say on Threads, which you can follow me at @JasonEnrique_, I'm confused. I thought these two fan bases are supposed to be called quote unquote classy.
No.
Maybe a little bit more of the 49ers than the Giants, at least from my experience. I never really had any unfortunate incidents with the 49ers fans or anything, except for maybe one, but he's just a trash human being also. I mean, he's also like one of the most deplorable Mets fans I've ever known in my life anyway, but that's not saying much.
He's probably friends with Catherine.
This is also the same guy that is a huge Laker fan and always called him LeBum James, and now he's on your team and won you a championship. It hasn't said ish ever since then.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
But all right, so shifting over to the Jets now. So let me tell you, brother, this is an extremely important game.
Big game.
This is a must-win game. And I know that there's a lot of sports announcers out there that don't like to say, they don't like to use that term. Like, we don't like to use the G word. They don't like to use the must-win term. But no, this is a game you have to have. You have to win. You have lost 14 straight to the New England Patriots. You haven't won a game against them since 2015, Ryan Fitzpatrick's year. That was when Todd Bowles was the head coach. You haven't won a single game against them, and then also they've been blowouts also. You had that 30-3 nothing game where the icy ghost game. You also had that 50-something nothing burger against that when Richard Seymour called this the homecoming game against the Jets. And then afterwards you had that heartbreaking punt return last year, and then they caused Zach Wilson to cause a rift in the locker room because he didn't want to take accountability. There's a lot of stink, a lot of everything that negative connotations when it comes. This is a must win, and you know that Belichick despises the Jets. Make his day horrible. Make his week horrible. They're down 0-2. They lost against a divisional opponent already against the Miami Dolphins. They didn't look all that great at all against the Philadelphia Eagles, even though Philadelphia is suspect this year. Yeah. I think they got a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But you know that he's, even Damian Woody said this. Like when he played for the Patriots back in the day, whenever it came to playing the Jets, Belichick would always say, it's Jets week. It's Jets week. It's Jets week. He wants to humiliate and destroy everything about the Jets when it's Jets week.
Yeah, that's true, that's
and
true.
he already has his foot up their asses of the Patriots team because they're already 0-2. And
Yeah.
God forbid they lose to the Jets in his mind. No. You're 0-2. We understand that you're a desperate team, but no. You guys had your run. You guys have 6 Super Bowls. You've had our number for the last 7 years now. We can't lose 15 in a row. If the Jets lose this game, they're going to tie the most wins against a single opponent, which right now the Kansas City Chiefs have to. No, is it the Kansas City Chiefs? I forget. No, I think it's Kansas City against Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, against Denver. And the longest is when Miami against the Buffalo Bills. That's 20 straight wins. And I think that was way back in the day. But no, it's time to win this game. And also, this is a big game for Robert Saleh. This is going to be a make or break, and he has to take this personal.
Hackett's got to design a game plan that gives Wilson like some momentum. Like scheme up some good throws for him.
Yeah.
Like
don't get away from the run.
Don't abandon the run. This is a game you guys got to run. And plus, it's probably going to be a little bit drizzly. We got to check the weather report, but this is going to have to be a game you're going to have to run the ball 30 to 40 times, something like that. And play action, get him on bootlegs, scheme up routes that he can throw. It's the job of the offensive coordinator. We talk about it, coaching. It's the job of your coordinators to put your players in positions to succeed.
Right.
If you know your quarterback struggles with deep balls, don't call too many deep balls. If you know your quarterback struggles with double moves or with intermediate stuff.
Can't even throw a screen pass.
Exactly. Get away from that. You need to scheme. I understand you're there for Aaron. I get it.
Yes.
But you have to, this is the mark of a good coach who can make adjustments and make changes within the week or within the season. This is why I've said it for the longest that Kellen Moore is not that guy, because he couldn't do that. And you're seeing that with the Chargers. I said that he was going to struggle with the Chargers. Herbert's going to put up crazy numbers. If you've got Herbert in fantasy, you're good to go. But the Chargers are not legitimate Super Bowl contenders because situationally and adjustment-wise,
they got the most questionable head coach in all the league.
And on top of that, so you had a questionable head coach, and you bring in a questionable offensive coordinator.
Oof.
To go with that, like, people are going to lose their jobs. But again, Moore is not going to, okay, I'm up 10 points. Let me put a plan together to keep that 10-point lead going into the fourth. No, I want to score another 2 touchdowns. And that's going to get you in trouble. They had Ryan Tannehill. You got a home game against Ryan Tannehill that goes to overtime. You got to win that game.
Yes.
And they lost. 3 straight go balls in overtime, gave the ball right back. And freaking Mike Vrabel was like, oh, yeah, we're going to actually run the ball. And we got him.
We got Derrick Henry. Why not? Yeah.
Field goal, Titans win. You guys have right now, you got the same situation with Hackett. He doesn't understand how to put a plan together because it's on him. He's the OC.
Yes, he is.
So he's getting things to do.
Yep, exactly.
How do I put a plan together that I can get the best out of Zach and what we have right now? How can I do that? He has to figure out this week to do that, or else you guys won't win. Because if it comes down to just coaching, you already know the Patriots got the edge on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Belichick is and Belichick's staff is a better collective group, offensively and defensively, than you guys.
Yep.
But
Bill O'Brien, Matt Patricia.
Exactly. I know Bill has this game circled, and he's already talked to O'Brien as well. Be like, all right, what? Like they got a really good squad this year. What did Dallas do? How did they exploit some of their issues or whatever? And how can we probably have a number in mind of points they feel like they need to get to, probably like 21 maybe, or 24. If we hit 21 or 24, we don't believe that coaching staff and that quarterback can get 25 or 28 to match us. So let's get that number. Let's do what Mac does best, whatever. Let's not try to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
And let's scheme something that puts the quarterback in a position to thrive. Hackett and your offensive staff, they've got to do that for the foreseeable future with freaking Zach Wilson, or else it's going to be a lot more else. Because Aaron Rodgers is not coming through that door, bro.
No, he's not.
He's not.
And also the offensive line, they need to step it up. I know that Dwayne Brown didn't practice. He's probably not going to play. Probably have to switch Joe Tippmann in and then put Connor McGovern put him as a backup or whatever. Put Mekhi Becton in left. tackle and put Elijah Vera Tucker in right tackle, and then pray to God that Laken Tomlinson actually can make a play.
Yeah.
And also, just to me, it's all about ground and pound, run the ball. You could run the ball effectively.
Yeah.
If that offensive line holds up, if they can create holes. And also, this defense, come on, Mac Jones is not anything special. I don't think he's anything good. I think he's overrated.
No.
There's no way that, like, it's a shame to think that Mac Jones is 4-0 against the Jets in his entire career right now.
I think Bill Belichick is 4-0 featuring, it's like a song.
Yes.
Bill Belichick featuring Mac Jones is 4-0 against the Jets. Because, Mac Daddy has not been lighting it up and setting the world
like
on
Whack
fire.
Jones.
Whack Daddy?
Whack Daddy.
He hasn't been
Big Whack 100.
said Mac 10, Whack 10.
Whack.
He hasn't.
He is 10, right? Number 10 is so Whack 10.
Like the rapper.
Yeah, D-Boss is not coming through that door for you, bro.
Facts.
No,
but he ain't light it up, bro.
No,
he's not.
That's
the staff is.
Yeah, the defense has to light up Mac Jones, confuse him, make his life hell, do whatever. Don't fucking Mo Lewis him or anything like that. But just, you're not facing Tom Brady. You're not facing anybody that is elite throwing the ball over on the offensive side of the Patriots. Get after him. Make his life miserable. Remind him that the weather is going to be effective. So I think that's another reason why I think they just focus on the ground and pound.
Yeah.
Because the weather is going to be a factor.
It will.
And also, I hate to bring this up because we brought it up last week and it probably could bite us in the ass again. The officiating. I don't know if
is the game at MetLife or is it?
Yes, it is. It's at MetLife, but still.
I think the officiating at home, the home team,
historically, unless you're the Jets.
Exactly. Or the Cowboys in most sense. Like, historically, you get a little bit of a tick at home. So, like, if it was in New England right now, I'd feel terrible about this game for you guys. Yeah. Right now, with the way that your offensive coordinating and the way your quarterback play is set up right now, if this was in New England, I'd be like, this is probably a L, dog. Like, I hate to break it to you. But the fact that you're at home.
I got the Patriots to cover, unfortunately. So
Again, it's going to come down to what the game plan looks like for your offense, because your defense right now is not the issue. It's not. And
it was an issue last week.
But it was. But I really think it was a product of mostly the offense not being able to do anything. I think if your offense was able to put up points, it probably would have had some problems. Because again, we're missing our guard, that's interior pressure, where you guys thrive with Quentin Williams. We're missing that. And again, we were missing Brandon Cooks. That changes our entire offense. Like, us bringing him in is a game changer because we don't have a number 2 receiver right now. Michael Gallup, I'm still waiting for. Sometimes I forget he's on the roster. I'm just like, yo, bro, are you just there? Like, you
guys got Tony Pollard.
We have Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is out receiving Michael Gallup. That says a lot right now because we got no choice. So Gallup's got to show up and Cooks has got to show up. You know what I mean? But we haven't got to the Cowboy game. We will. We'll wrap with that. What I'm saying is,
and our predictions.
Your offense and Zach Wilson and Solid, they've got to figure out how to generate consistent offense and at least put pressure on the Patriot defense, because your defense is going to show up. Your defense is going to show up every single week. That is a calling card. You guys are a defensively led team, but the offense, they've got to hold their water too. So that's what it's going to come down to. So right now, because I don't know what your offense is going to look like. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to try to watch the game because I got a bunch of stuff going on Sunday anyway. But I'm going to try to watch the game, and I'm going to be very interested to see what the plan is. Because right now, I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if you guys are going to run. Are you going to run a lot? Are you going to scheme up stuff for Zach Wilson? What is it going to look like? Because if you're going to go off of recency bias, right now, it's like you guys don't really have an offensive identity right now.
No, we don't.
That's an issue.
And here's also what I would say, and this is what I would do if I were the head coach of the New York Jets. I understand that we need to see what Zach Wilson is ultimately, but right now, let's just put that to the side for the week and just focus on getting this win, and then afterwards we'll figure out the whole thing with Zach later. Because this is already, this dark cloud that's hovering over us all the way from Boston, Massachusetts, is a little bit more extreme right now than figure out what Zach Wilson is. I already feel like we already know what Zach is. So you might as well do whatever it takes to win these next coming games for the rest of the season and salvageable, and dare I say, make it to the wild card and play a wild card game.
Yeah.
That's the way that I'm going in this right now, because I know that my job's on the line as well. All right, but anyway, I guess we should get into our predictions.
Let's get into our predictions and our clown of the week.
Yeah.
Predictions first.
Okay, as far as the Jets is concerned, listen, I want this game badly. I circled this a long time ago because every time the Patriots are on, I want to beat the living crap out of them, and I want nothing more than actually do that this year. We're at home. We're unfortunately a 2.5 point underdog at home. We haven't been favored at all this season so far.
It's mainly because of the quarterback.
It's mainly,
Right.
yeah. And listen, even if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, I don't think we were going to win that Dallas game anyway. So I think.
But like Micah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good place for people
I still
right
think
now.
I still think we would have been 1-1 despite the quarterback.
Yeah.
I just think we would have put more.
It'd have been
closer.
closer.
Yeah, it would have been like a 3-point game or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just the fact that I know that Belichick is a little bit more motivated than Robert Saleh right now. I hope I'm wrong about this. And as much as I want the Jets to win this game, but unfortunately, if I had to bet my wallet, I'm going to have to say that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think both defenses are going to be great because I don't think either quarterback is all that great either. And unfortunately, I need to see it to believe it. And right now, I don't see it to believe it right now. Right now, if I really had to put money on it, which I am, I'm going to say that the Patriots are going to make it probably like 13-10.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pats too. I think something like 17-14. I don't know where the offense is, like what y'all direction is right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's going to be, run heavy or pass heavy or somewhere in between. I don't know what the plan for Zach Wilson is with Hackett, if that combination is sustainable for this period of time, or if you guys are going to have to pull the ripcord and bring in Boyle or bring in another quarterback, because I don't know what the plan is with Zach Wilson with their offense right now. That's what it comes down to. So I'm going to go with the Pats too. I'll be rooting for you guys.
Yeah.
I want you guys to win. Zach Wilson, show me something. Like, I know you're not the guy already. Like I'm saying, but like,
show Sahonis, man.
Yeah, man, show something, man. Show something. And I'm with you. I like Saleh. Like, Hard Knocks made me a Saleh fan.
Oh my God, I love Saleh. So I want to have a beer with the guy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to see something, but I'm gonna go with Pat 17-14. Not gonna be a lot of points. Not gonna be this. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for this. If you want offense, if you want big plays, if you want like flash plays, this ain't the place for you, bro. This ain't the store for you. This ain't the game for you. So low scoring. I got Pat 17-14 in an ugly game.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game. The weather's going to be ugly. I don't think either offenses are going to put up numbers, except for maybe if the Jets stay with the running game. I don't think the running game for the Patriots is all that great anyway. They got no elite receivers. I don't think that Mac Jones is passing to any. Randy Moss is not going to come through that door.
They got a bunch of number 2 and number no, it's not number 2. They got a bunch of number 3 receivers
and a TikTok dancer.
Yeah, and a TikTok dancer. They tried to trade. They're not even high on. Like, Juju's not even well received in the building right now because they thought Juju was like Steeler Juju. No. That's what they thought they were getting. And then after camp, seeing that how he picks up the playbook and how he meshes with Mac, they're just like, bro, you're okay. Like, you're all right. But this is not what we thought we were signing with.
I do believe the secondary needs to be more aware of the tight ends that the Patriots got, because they got some decent tight ends.
Good. No,
Henry's good. And that guy Gesicki, he's good as well.
Gesicki too. They got good tight ends.
They got good tight ends.
That's where I feel like they're going to try to exploit your defense with their tight ends.
Yes.
Not the receivers.
Not the receivers.
Nobody. They got nothing but sauce on that side. So forget about that. But the tight ends over the middle, the intermediate stuff with Gesicki and with Henry, that's where Bill O'Brien is going to try to exploit your defense.
And the Jets special teams need to step up, because they're solely the reason why we lost that game last year with that punt return.
Yep.
Yeah. So the special teams, all aspects of the team need to come really to play their game.
Ready to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think that Belichick against Saleh, I think that's an unmatched opponent right there.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
But I think it will be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 13-10.
All right.
The Giants already played on Thursday night, so we don't care. We don't have to worry about that. They don't play until October 2nd, so they got a long. They got a long stretch of time for them to get healthy and everything. Maybe Saquon will come back. Oh, I don't know, because he has a high ankle sprain.
He has a high, but he's trying to push to come back. I think he'll miss maybe one more game. I think he'll come back on the third game, honestly.
Yeah, against Miami, at Miami. So.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
It'll be a good game. Yeah, it'll be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, there'll be points. There'll be definitely points, because Miami's defense really isn't that good.
No, but they know how to throw it. And Cheetah is amazing.
Waddle and Cheetah are just, if you got them in fantasy,
the Penguin and the Cheetah. So I feel like I'm watching Madagascar. Right?
If you have Cheetah or Panda in your freaking Panda or whatever, or Rhinoceros, whatever the heck, if you got Waddle or Hill in your fantasy, you're eating good this year. I got Waddle in one of my leagues. So
there you go. All right, so you guys are facing the Arizona Cardinals, the god-awful Arizona Cardinals, who next year will probably have Caleb Williams on their team.
Yep.
One thing I will say about the Cardinals is that they're a scrappy team, but they're playing the Giants. That's not anything to write home about. And I don't think the Cardinals have faced a defense like the Cowboys this year yet so far, and I don't think they're going to. But yeah, I think Micah Parsons is gonna make Kyler Murray's life a living hell.
You
This
mean no
week.
Joshua Dobbs?
Yeah.
Kyler Murphy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. See, this is why they're an expansion team.
You didn't realize the Smol's not even playing this year.
He's still rehabbing from Call of Duty. I mean, from his injury. Savage.
Oh man, but yeah, as far as I think this is gonna be. I think this is going to be a blowout. I really do. I think that I'm going to go 27-13 for the Cowboys and the Cardinals.
No, I'm gonna go higher. I think we're gonna put another 40 burger up.
Ooh.
I do, because again, Brandon Cooks is back. And I don't think in the first game Cooks really didn't need to do anything because we were playing in a tsunami and our defense, special teams was scoring points. Offensively, we didn't have to do much. And then last week, again, against an elite defense, I was actually surprised we scored 30. I was thinking like 24 against your defense last week, but a lot of field goals and we were moving the ball, so there came our points. But this week, I think that Mike is going to be a little bit more aggressive. Again, the Giants put up 31 points on an NFL team, which is crazy to me, even with Saquon Barkley, because again, they made Hyatt and Slayton and Paris Campbell. The Cardinals made those guys look like all world. So what do you think when they go against CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Tony Pollard, and an actual legit offensive weapon? How's it going to look? So I think as long as we play a clean game in terms of don't turn the ball over,
right,
and don't give up big plays in the secondary, we should win by a very healthy margin. Plus, the Cardinals can't stop the run, the Cardinals can't stop the pass, and we do both really well this year with the way with McCarthy at the helm calling plays. So I think 40 burger. I think 40 to 10. 40 to 10. We're gonna put up a lot of points this week. I'll put it to you like this: if we don't put up a minimum of 30 to 35, if we score more points against the Jets than we do with the Cardinals, that is a blinking red flag when we play the Eagles and when we play the 49ers later on. Because we got San Fran in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we need to.
That's gonna be a good game.
That's a big fight field. That's gonna have a playoff vibe to it. In San Francisco in prime time. So if we don't have our offense humming by the time we play them, we're gonna have problems. So we need to. Our offense, I feel like this is the perfect game and the perfect opponent to start to put things together. Like I want to see a legit offensive performance from wire to wire, because the offensive line is intact. We don't have anybody nicked up, I think, aside from Biotis, who I think is going to play, because he got hurt and Diggs got hurt, unfortunately, the other day. But Biotis, if he plays, we'll actually have our full offensive line for the first time all year. We haven't had that all year. So Smith is coming back, so we'll be able to run the ball back more. Tony Pollard looks great.
He does,
like you wouldn't even know that he freaking broke his leg last year in the playoffs. And again, CD pretty much. And CD has cemented himself as a top 5 wide receiver, like I knew he would.
Yeah.
In the game right now, like CD is up there with your Tyreek Hills, with your Justin Jeffersons, with your Devontae Adams, with your Cooper Kupps, with your Jamar Chases. CD Lamb is right up there with those guys, because his route running was like the only thing he needed to really clean up. He always got separation, and from a hands perspective, he was always like iffy. He's cleaned all that stuff up in the offseason. Right. And there's a reason, like, to put up 11 for a $143 against your defense, that kind of cemented what I was just like, CD's here. CD has arrived.
And did you see what Dak Prescott said to Sauce Gardner at the end of the game?
Yeah, I saw that.
He said, "We purposely did not throw to you because we know how elite you are."
Yeah, it's like, why throw at the best if you don't have to?
Yeah.
And then every quarterback says that. Every quarterback has that same mindset. Even Mahomes. Mahomes was like,
that says a lot about Sauce too.
It does. So, yeah, Sauce has cemented himself as a top 5 corner.
Absolutely.
So it's like, if I could cook your freaking second, third, and fourth corner and your linebackers, I'm going to cook them all day. Like, why even bother? You know what I mean? Because one time he did try to play games with him. Sauce almost damn near out of picks. But the Cardinals don't have anybody defensively that has me thinking like,
they're 12.5 underdogs at home.
And they should be. Yes. They should be, because, again, the Giants put up 31 points on them, bro. I can't. Like, the Giants, I'd be shocked if the Giants put up 30 points again this season more than twice. I would be shocked. If it happens 2 to 3 times, I'm going to hit you up, bro. I don't know how the hell that happened. Because, again, offensively, if you stop freaking Daniel Jones from running and you play true, honest defense, their receivers aren't good enough to threaten you. But the Cardinals had Daniel Jones looking like freaking Joe Montana back there in the second half.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, if they can have Daniel Jones looking like that, How do you think Dak's going to fare against them? And I think right after the Cardinals play the Cowboys, they play the 49ers the very next week.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So yeah. But no, Cowboys big. Cowboys big. Like, and it should be big because, again, we got bigger fish to fry in a few weeks.
Never a dull moment in the NFL. Oh, I always say it. Yeah. All right, let's get to our clowns of the week.
Okay, so my clown of the week unequivocally is Bart Scott. Or Krusty, can't wait. Well, I can't wait for you to go back to the circus. Yeah, you played yourself, bro. Like, your comments were clownish. Your takes for years about Dak Prescott and a number of other quarterbacks. It's not just Dak. He said a lot of questionable stuff about a lot of guys over the years. Bro, I get it. You're a hot take guy now. You're a media guy now. He's the same guy that said that you guys were going to rush for 200 yards against us. How'd that work out? Like,
nice job.
Exactly. Your takes are clownish. Everything about you, right, dog, is lame AF. I mean, like, yo, so you are unequivocally, go get your red nose, go get your green hair, go get your makeup. Ringling Brothers is in town in Barnum and Bailey. Like, my clown of the week, unequivocally, is Bart Scott. Can't wait.
Why so serious?
Exactly. Want to know how I got these scars? I'll listen to Bart Scott.
Oh, my gosh. All right. My clown of the week would have to be the one and only Mike Greenberg. Listen, yes,
not Greeny.
I'm going to tell you why.
Oh,
I'm going to tell you why. Listen, I think that Greeny is one of the greatest sports casters, and rightfully he's done an amazing job at ESPN and everything. But I'm talking strictly from a New York Jets fan perspective. I really hate the fact that ESPN actually has him as the auditor of all Jet fandom,
all things Jets,
all things Jets. Yeah, because some of his, he's almost turning into like Stephen A. Smith of Jace. Like, he's the white version of Stephen A.
Oh, wow.
Every time that the Jets do something great, he's throwing up in pom-poms. Every time they do something terrible, he's having a huge meltdown. And it's all for the cameras. I think it's all for show. But this is where it really got me. So earlier this week on a show, he was talking about the Jets and the Patriots game coming up. He said that we need to rally around Zach. If Zach happens to throw an interception or something like that, don't boo him. Actually try to bring up his spirits. Try to cheer him up. Like, nice try, this, that. So really? We're supposed to be happy that Zach Wilson, I almost said Sam Darnold, but Zach Wilson throws an interception and we'd be like, good job, champ. Good job. We got to build the spirits. No, this is third year in the league. There's no more margin for error. You have to improve. We haven't seen any improvement. And then you have people that are nozzles, Mike Greenberg, to say that we need to actually pick up Zach. We need to build up his confidence. No, I do not feel bad for Zach Wilson. This is a guy who's very privileged and does not even have to do anything with football in my fandom right now. But I do not feel sorry for Zach Wilson because he throws 3 interceptions possibly in a game and loses the game, and we ruin it, and we already solidifies that we already know he is not an NFL quarterback. He doesn't belong in the league. And to say that we need to be there for Zach, we need to rally Zach and big him up and good job, champ, good try. That interception wasn't your fault. No, if he throws interceptions, if he fumbles, if he gets sacked, whatever the case may be that we know that Zach Wilson is capable of doing, we are going to boo him out of the building. Boo him out of New York. He should have been booed off last season. I don't want to see Zach Wilson. I didn't even want him as my backup quarterback to Aaron Rodgers. I would have been happy with Teddy Bridgewater, who we just alluded to earlier. I would have been happy with anybody. I'll even take Tim Boyle, and I know that's blasphemous right now. And it's getting me crazy to the point that I can't even freaking talk right now. But no, Mike Greenberg, get your face mask, get whatever, or better yet, no, take off the mask that you're wearing right now, because that reveals the real clown that you are. My clown of the week, Mike Greenberg. Boom, there we go right there.
With the Madden boom at the end. And it's funny because I remember we'll wrap on this. I remember we had said this a few episodes before the season started. I was like, you want to see as much Aaron Rodgers as possible.
Oh my
God. And as little as possible. Now you're about to see a whole sack. Oh man. That's how you really feel, Jason.
Oh,
how you really feel.
What a disaster.
What a disaster. All the pain.
Yeah, and not to mention, I want to give a shout out to Joe Benigno because he's one of my favorites. His birthday is Tuesday. He's going to be 70 years old. He hasn't seen a Jets Super Bowl since he was 15. And he said this out loud, and I'll reiterate. Robert Saleh, the only birthday present we want for Joe Benigno and us Jet fans, beat the damn Patriots. That's the only birthday present that we want for Joe Benigno.
Yeah.
He's turning 70. Give him that at least. It's not. Yes.
Please.
Yes. Please. All the pain. I want to feel all the joy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And clown Mike Greenberg. That's what I got.
Oh, man.
So, that was muy caliente, as you say.
I felt that, bro. You sweating over there.
And it's not because I'm fat only.
No, our teams drive us to that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
You know what? I feel like I don't even need to go to the gym because my Jet fandom gives me enough cardio. It gets my blood boiling.
Hey, man, it's that time of year. That time of year, man.
All right, that's gonna do it. I think this is a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, as always.
You know that we were going really hard when we almost did a 2-hour show.
Yeah, it needed it.
We needed it.
There was a lot to cover. And again, we're only in week 3, bro.
Yeah.
We're only in week 3 is
Imagine when week 15 comes by.
boy. Especially when the big time matchups, when the money matchups go on, man. It's I love football, man. I love football season. Even when my team sucks, I love football.
Oh, yeah. I love it as much as I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate. I hate it, but I know it's bad for my health.
Yeah.
All right, well, anyways, that is going to do it for this episode of Yo Bravery Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you really enjoyed this banter. And just beware, this is only week 3, so imagine what's going to happen in the next coming weeks. Oh, man. So, yeah, Hugo, where can they find us on social media real quick?
As always, you GoBoy88. That's on everything. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, u-goboy.com. Check out the You Go Boy podcast live from Bravery Studios. We got new episodes on the way. We got sports talk episodes on the way. Jason and our boy Carlos, Mr. Financial, he's going to pull up to the next sports talks episode. That's going to be in a couple weeks. So look out for that.
And look out for Joe Benigno coming soon.
And of course, Joe Benigno as well. We got big guests. We got more sports talk. Shout out to Mongo. We got a lot coming in the pipeline this upcoming season. This season, I'm excited for this season. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, my heart's gonna either explode with joy or pain later on this year.
I'm dead inside. I've been dead inside since 2007. Did it for me. I was 19. We were 13-3. It should have been Cowboys Patriots in the Super Bowl, and right on brand, we lost to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Since that moment, I've just been like, I just watched the games.
You know what? Just live in that 40-0 spirit.
Yeah, it helps. It helps. That definitely helps.
I would have loved to have been in your shoes when you were at that stadium.
Oh man, yeah. There's a few moments that are helping me get over that 07 loss in the playoffs. That's one of them. I hold on to that. But the only time I'm going to be rid of it is when we break the championship drought. Then I'll be completely freaking exercised of those demons, because every time I see us in the playoffs, I can't unsee Tony Romo throwing an interception to RW McQuarters with the season on the line. I can't unsee that. So I don't even
think a one-night stand with Halle Berry would have felt as close to the euphoric state you
had some good times, man. Yeah, that was up there. I was like, that was up there. That was up there. It was a good night.
Do better, Drake. Do better.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you can find me at JasonEnrique_ on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all the social media platforms. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube at First Class Second Place. We got more sports talk coming up. Hugo, always a pleasure talking to you, bro.
Always, bro. Always, bro. Always.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Bravery Studios, we are out.